Since y'all are liking these, let's go over the Australian influencer drama.
It makes me feel right.
We have three major players: Anna Paul, Addis Paul, and Michaela Testa. And somehow Drake is in the mix, but I'll get back to that. Let's go back to a couple weeks ago when Michaela Testa comes on TikTok and makes a long form video where she accuses Anna Paul of basically not being who we see on social media. She says that her personality is very different. She also says that Anna Paul is running an illegal lottery scheme for kids. Anna Paul and Michaela do the same job. They work on a website that is only for their fans. And so they promote those websites very differently. Anna, who has a following that is mostly young women, young girls who are teenagers and maybe early 20s. Michaela has a different following that's mostly young men who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s. So Michaela and Anna Paul have been friends for 10 years, but Michaela and Addis Paul dated for part of that time, and they all lived in a home together. So Michaela knows these two very well. She could probably point out some things that they've been doing very well, and she is. So in her accusation, she says Anna is using her following to basically run an illegal lottery scheme. So you might know Anna Paul because she travels the world with her brother Addis and her mama and papa sometimes, where they go around the world eating food and going to beautiful places where she's just going and jumping in water and showing you the local fair, things like that. But what that does is put Anna Paul in your algorithm. So wherever she is in the world, she'll probably get swept up onto your For You page. And her following on TikTok is mostly young women. It is something that everyone notices, including Anna. And that's why her brand is a skincare and toothpaste brand. It's called Polly. Now, Polly was testing the waters before we started getting these lottery schemes for kids because she was doing a giveaway, I believe over Christmas, where she was saying, if you buy any item on my Polly website, I will send you a crazy gift like an iPad or a Dyson Airwrap or whatever. So she was kind of seeing what her audience would buy and how much she could move giving these giveaways along with whatever promotions she was doing. So now she's promoting her fan site by going in her Instagram stories and telling her audience that is mostly children that if you sign up for her fan site that you don't have to be 18 to sign up for, you could possibly get into this lottery that she's running where she's giving people $500 through Venmo. And then she's on her Instagram stories showing the Venmo where she's paid people out. Now you might also know Anna Paul from the viral Turkish pasta that's been all over my For You page. It looks delicious, but Turkish people say that it's not authentic. So I don't know, take that as you will, but it looks like her mom made the pasta and she just kind of narrated it and then it went viral because she has a following that's mostly young women and they're cooking food that they see on their For You page, in my opinion. She also has been accused by Michaela of having a performative generosity where people think that her giveaways are just her being generous because previously to the Polly skincare giveaway and the lottery scheme that she's running, she was doing giveaways like that buy her the purse trend where she was putting money into diapers and formula at different stores. She even did it here in America, I believe, at a Walmart. And all of these things are connected because it shows a pattern of conditioning her audience that resulted in this lottery for kids. Michaela also said that Anna did not grow up poor, that she grew up in a very nice house with an in-ground pool, and that she had been over to that house many times. So Anna saying that she grew up dirt poor, like she had nothing, is just false. But Michaela doesn't have just accusations for Anna. She has a lot of accusations against Addis Paul because they dated for a few years. And during that time, Michaela and Anna both got into a little bit of trouble. And I mean a very little bit of trouble for promoting a crypto scam that was run by Addis Paul. Now, Addis Paul, when he was still a teenager, I believe, was doing promotions online where he was basically giving financial advice as a teenager and showing off a very lavish lifestyle, acting like he was very rich. But a lot of that money was from Michaela because Michaela allegedly accused him of taking money from her crypto wallet because he had all access to it. And that was part of the financial that she says that she endured when she was with Addis. She also accused him of emotional, physical, and financial, and says that he had done that to other women in the past as well, but she's only speaking for herself. Now, when Michaela Testa made this video, she said that everything she was about to say would stand up in court, and so she truly, fully believes everything she's saying, and she also must have some kind of evidence to back it up because she says it will hold up in a court of law. So she said that Addis stole almost $1 million from her and that he probably had done this to other people, and this was all through crypto. So basically, he encouraged Michaela and Anna to promote his meme coin before there were meme coins, to sell to their audience of kids and men who were in their 20s to 30s, and it worked. So a bunch of people bought this coin, and then Addis did a rug pull, which people never bring up when it comes to Anna Paul. I mean, I've brought it up a couple of times, and people are like, what's the problem? I mean, now we see that it's a bigger issue, but this is Australia, so I don't know what kind of, like, coverage they have there. Here we had the FCC, who knows at this point, but there, I don't know who they have to cover these kinds of things or what kind of legal trouble they could get into by doing a rug pull. But this was kind of early in the stages of that because this was like 2-3 years ago. And when this rug pull happened is when Addis started to kind of be in the background more of his sister videos, not really as much front and center, and he doesn't post on his own pages very often. Michaela Testa also made a follow-up video where she accused Anna of abusing her birds, saying that she basically kept the birds in a room that was in the dark and until they died, and that she only uses them for content. That is very sad, and I think also adds to a bigger pattern that I think Michaela Testa is trying to point out. Now, even though Michaela Testa's accusations pick up like wildfire, Anna Paul is making no comment whatsoever to reply to any of these accusations. She's literally just posting like business as usual. She's going on trips and just doing tour vlogs, nothing to address any of these accusations. Now, the accusations that you're a different person online or you didn't actually grow up broke, sure, those are whatever. But the accusations against Addis were very bad. She talks about how his gave her long-lasting medical issues that she is still dealing with today. And then Anna Paul comes online and everyone thinks, oh, she's going to make an apology. She shows that she's in her bedroom with just a bottle of water, no script, no team, no nothing, which she probably should have had a script and a team because her apology, quote unquote, was not an apology. She basically addressed other things that people had said in the comments and minimized the things that Michaela said. She said that she didn't grow up with money because there were times that her parents would say things like, we don't know how we're going to pay the rent, or we can't afford this school uniform for you, or what have you. And it made her feel broke, but it made me feel broke. And so she said, all these things would make her feel broke. And then in the rest of the story, she goes on to say that there was a fan who went to hug her, and she would never say that a fan was fat and sweaty. She would definitely say, but she said sweaty, however, so we're going to say not fat, but maybe sweaty. And I can see why Anna would act like that's a big deal because she does go all in on body positivity, but that is not the issue at hand here. So I put these two on the board because they are two influencers who are kind of connected to this situation because of comments they've made previously or in regards to it. So Veruca has said in the past that she said that Anna and Addis kind of neglected their dad because he basically lives in a van down by the river. But their dad says that he likes van life. Even Michaela came out and said that he is just a kind of crunchy granola guy who wants to live in a van down by the river. So I don't know if that adds or takes away to Anna Paul saying she was broke or that she felt broke, because van life is expensive, but being homeless is being homeless. So who even knows what the real situation is? But everybody seems to say that her dad just wants to live in a van down by the river. I don't know. And Karina came out in defense of Anna Paul and kind of said some things against Michaela, and then Michaela and her went back and forth. Michaela said that she's basically a fan of Anna's, that Karina is basically a fan of Anna's, and that she's kind of making things up because she has, an attachment to her through the phone, but she doesn't think that there's any merit to it. Now, Michaela has had her own, troubles in the past. She has said things where she was in LA and going through Hollywood and saying things about homeless people, and then was like, okay, now we're going to go on Rodeo Drive. Like, she's done things that people could consider as insensitive. I've also heard that she is not welcoming to trans people, so I don't know really the full background on Michaela Testa, but from what I've gathered, it sounds like she had a very tumultuous childhood where she grew up in the foster care system in Australia and had to deal with a lot of trauma because of that. So she does come from a place of poverty that Anna, in comparison, probably did have a very well-off life. And recently, Drake has been spending some time in Australia. I know he's been there from at least since the Super Bowl. So he's been in Australia, and Drake is a messy queen. So he had to get in the mix, and he wore a t-shirt while he performed in Australia that said, but it made me feel broke. And Anna Paul is now back to posting regularly scheduled travel vlogs, not addressing any of the accusations against Addis or the crypto scam or anything else. And all the comments are filled with people saying, but it made me feel broke, or this video makes me feel broke. So that is definitely going to be her catchphrase from now on. And then finally, I just put Glenn on the board because I felt like he should be on the board because he dated Anna Paul during part of this, but then they broke up like a year ago. And, he's been very silent. He is not posting anything to talk about the situation. She still is friends with his family. She bought him a car very recently. So some people insinuate that that's basically hush money because she's still, buying him things and hanging out with his family. I just think that they were together for a very long time and she's very close with his family, but that's just my personal opinion. So who even knows? I mean, everything could be a lie because people lie online all the time. So who knows? But anyways, that is the Australian influencer drama summed up. If you have any questions, I probably don't know the answers beyond everything that's already on this board.